candidates, you are welcome for our lesson 9. Once again, I'm Mbale Ramadan, your teacher of English language. Before we go to what we are to have today, we shall begin by a correction of the previous lesson or the previous activity, and that was for lesson 8. I gave you some 4 numbers, and the instruction was rewrite the sentence giving one word for the underlined group of words. You saw those sentences that you had. I am only picking on the underlined words. In our first question, the underlined words were a period of 2 weeks. I spent a period of 2 weeks in Kampala. So which one word can we use to mean a period of 2 weeks? You get that? And the underlined words excluded A. So we started from here like that. So a period of 2 weeks is a fortnight. Mark the spelling. So your answer was supposed to be, I spent a fortnight in Kampala. Okay? Remember the instruction was rewrite. So you were supposed to write again the sentence. Then you change those words. Our second example was the underlined words were 60 minutes. Okay? So what do we mean by 60 minutes? Which one word can we use to mean 60 minutes? Because the statement was, he cannot complete that work in a period of 60 minutes. So 60 minutes stand for hour. You get that? The word one was already there. So in one, then you add the word hour. You get that? So the underlined words there stood for hour, and then 24 hours. Every 24 hours I eat food. Now we have underlined 24 hours. So the answer was supposed to be, every day I eat food. You get that? Then lastly, have you attended school this period of 365 days? And that was a question. Now, period of 365 days, which one word are you going to give? The one word is simply going to be year. And the question now would be, have you attended school this year? Question mark. Every day I eat food. He cannot complete that work in 1 hour. And I spent a fortnight in Kampala. As simple as that. I hope you have compared the work, the activity that you did, and where necessary you have made corrections. So having finished the correction, let us now go to our next lesson, and that is lesson 9. I hope you're keeping yourself safe, observing social distance, wearing your face mask as we wait for those promised by the government. So, in lesson 9, we are continuing with our topic of adverbs. We began by looking at or defining adverbs. That was lesson 7. When we say adverbs are words that are used to modify verbs, adjectives, and other adverbs. We say they answer questions of how, where, and when. But then we saw other questions addressed by adverbs as we looked at the classes of adverbs. After that, in our next lesson that followed that, we looked at, we basically, that was lesson 8, we basically gave more examples of adverbs of duration. And we were able to describe those examples, in which we said, a second stands for 60 microseconds, but a minute stands for 60 seconds. An hour stands for 60 minutes, and a day stands for 24 hours. Then 7 days stand for a week, and 2 weeks stand for a fortnight. Then 4 weeks or 30 days represent a month, Then 12 months represent a year. 10 years represent a decade. And we said 25 years stand for a silver jubilee. We said 30 years are referred to as a generation. 50 years, a golden jubilee. 75 years, a diamond jubilee. And then 100 years, a century. And lastly, we looked at 1,000 years being a millennium. So those can be under the examples of adverbs of duration. Today, let us look at this. We shall look at position of adverbs in a sentence. Okay? Position of adverbs in a sentence. Now, we are using these adverbs to construct sentences. So as we use them, we should take note of this. Where do we place the adverbs? Okay? You have your statement bearing an adverb. Where is the adverb going to appear? Is it going to be within the sentence? Is it going to start in the sentence? Or it will come at the end of the statement? Take note of this statement. In a statement or sentence, adverbs in a sentence, adverbs have three positions. What is going to be the first one? The first one is at the beginning. At the beginning of the sentence. And the second one is within, or we usually say in the middle. Within the sentence, or in the middle of the sentence, and then lastly, at the end of the sentence. Adverbs have three positions. They can be at the beginning, they can be within or in the middle of the sentence, or they can be at the end of the sentence. Okay? Now, the first thing is, maybe we can now look at adverbs at the beginning of the sentence. In most cases, when we have adverbs appearing at the beginning of the sentence, these are likely to be one, adverbs of time, adverbs of place, adverbs of manner. But what should we take note of when we are having adverbs at the beginning? If an adverb is at the beginning, maybe I can write that. If an adverb is at the beginning, of the sentence, there has to be a comma after the adverb. This statement is very important for us. We are saying if an adverb is at the beginning of the sentence, there has to be a comma after the adverb. And this is a rule. Remember, grammar. We are looking at now the rules of the language. And in this case, we are looking at English. Okay? So, which rule now is governing the use of adverbs at the beginning? My friend, make sure that there is a comma after the adverb. For example, I can give you some 2 or 3 sentences. We can have one sentence having an adverb at the beginning. It can be an adverb of time. Someone can say, yesterday want to give a very lengthy statement. Yesterday, I ate rice. In this statement, if you leave out the comma, it will be a wrong statement. Why? The adverb of time has been used at the beginning, but then you have not followed the rule. So, whenever you use adverbs at the beginning of the statement, make sure that there is a comma immediately after the adverb. Okay? Now, in this case, I have put it after this word yesterday, which is an adverb of time. And then the statement continues. Maybe I can give you another example. Another example can be at school we dress. At school we dress. Oh, let me give one which has only one adverb. At school we wear uniforms. Yeah, let it be like that. So, at school we wear uniforms. The first example had an adverb of time. The second example is having an adverb of place. You get that? Don't say at school we wear uniforms just like that. There has to be a comma. At school we wear uniforms. You get that? So this comma shows that an adverb has been used at the beginning of the sentence. Let us see some examples of adverbs within the sentence or in the middle of the sentence. Okay? Remember, we are talking about position of adverbs in a sentence. Now, in this case, when we are using adverbs within the sentence, it is not necessary to use a comma anywhere. Okay? And then we can see an example. One, someone can say, "Who should always, we should always be punctual." Okay? Here we have looked at yesterday and at school being the adverbs. What about here? Within the sentence, you should always be punctual. Where is an adverb here? The word always is an adverb. Where has it appeared? Is it at the beginning of the sentence? Is it at the end? It is within the sentence. It is in the middle of the sentence. So do not use any comma as you are writing that adverb. And don't even write starting with a capital letter as you write the adverb. That is one example. Someone can even say, he carefully crossed the road. He carefully crossed the road. Where is the adverb in this case? He is the subject, crossed is the action, the road now is the object, okay? Carefully is the adverb. It is coming within. I always give this word within because the word may not be in the exact middle of the statement. Like now here, some three words are there, one word is this way, and the word is there, okay? So, within can work, but we always know it as middle. So, carefully is an adverb. Where has it been used? It is in the middle, it is within the sentence. And so many other examples that we can have. See, let us see where else an adverb can be. We say at the end of the sentence. At the end of the sentence. Can we have some examples of adverbs appearing at the end of the sentence? Yes, we can. One, we are having a statement, having an adverb at the end. Someone can say, I ate rice yesterday. Compare this example to the first example I gave you when we were looking at adverbs at the beginning of the sentence. You have realized that here we have used with a comma, and the adverb starts with a capital letter. Now here the adverb yesterday has again come, but this time round it is not at the beginning, but it is at the end. So when we are using adverbs at the end of the statement as its position, we don't use any comma in the statement. So just as you said here, yesterday I ate rice. Don't say I ate rice yesterday. No, but say I ate rice yesterday. As simple as that. Another example can be Peter crossed the road carefully. Peter crossed the road carefully. Which adverb do we have here? The adverb is carefully. Where is it appearing? It is appearing at the end of the sentence. So we have seen that carefully can work within and carefully can work at the end. This is an adverb of manner. So you realize that most adverbs of manner are used next to the action, either at the end or within the statement. You have seen carefully and crossed. You have seen crossed the road and then carefully. So these two give us examples of adverbs used at the end of the statement, and the first ones within the sentence, then these ones at the beginning of the sentence. So, having looked at these examples, I want to give you some simple activity of 5 numbers at least. Then you identify the position of the adverb in that sentence. As you're writing the answer, you simply write. Look at the sentence, identify by underlining the adverb. Okay? So when you underline the adverb, I'll just know that you have realized where it is, either at the end, in the middle, or at the beginning. Okay? So, activity. These are 5 numbers that I would like to request you try. Identify and underline the adverb in each of the sentences below. By identifying, you will know its position. By underlining, you will show that you know the adverb. Okay? We went to Kampala. Which adverb is there? She walks slowly. Now, listen to me. You are very smart. We must carefully wash our hands. So, in this activity, you're going to identify. After identifying, you underline the adverb. After doing that, you will have done it all. I think, let me thank everybody. I thank those candidates who are always asking where they have not understood. There is Rania Hassan Nasari, you're doing well. And then we have Twale Isaac and so many others who have sent in their inquiries and so on. I am willing to address all your issues. Thank you so much. God bless you.